The day 3 is here and the day 3 is gone, and now we can see how these cars have performed. Reliability problems were less, but we have unreliable tracks. Since Las Vegas last year, we've been having tracks with curbs or with funny curbs, and also tracks with the drain cover pulling up. And again today, after the yesterday's incident, today again we had another incident of the drain plug from the curbs with Sergio Perez's Red Bull, and that calls for action to be taken in Bahrain. And they said before the race next week, like what they did in Las Vegas, filling up with concrete, that is what they will do. And I think FIA should really look into this and look at other tracks that might cause issues. Now we have almost all the cars getting the perfect ground effect their cars need. They should do something about that, because these are ground effect cars. Now they should be able to do something about to correct a lot of things on tracks so that it won't affect races, affect practices, affect qualifying as it might in future. So I think FIA should look into all this. Now back to the testing. The testing went well. Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez continuing from where they stopped yesterday, and it was a little bit showing where and how these cars will perform. We still have the McLaren rubbing on Flovis, the Red Bull doing a lot of Flovis to see how their car is performing and the aerodynamics, if it is really giving them what they really desire. Now we have all these teams running long runs, doing long runs, and I can tell you a lot of teams are hiding their true potential, and I can tell you it's going to be very, very funny, because a lot of these teams are doing long runs. We can see Red Bull laughing, we can see Mercedes having a lot of confidence, and we can see Ferrari also having a lot of confidence and laughing and saying, yeah, they're getting what they want from their car. How will this pan out? A lot of pundits are saying, oh, the Red Bull is still ahead. All the 9 teams and the 19 drivers are saying, oh, Max Verstappen is ahead. Some are even saying Red Bull is still over 2 seconds or 3 seconds ahead of the game. While Helmut Marko, in our last video I said, he's still saying he's about 3/10 off. But by the end of next week's race, we should be able to know where everybody is. But I can tell you, this season will be tight. A lot of people are saying, oh, Max Verstappen will win the 24 races. Is it that easy? Let's see if it is that easy. But I can tell you that will not happen, because it will be a very, very, very close season, especially amongst the top 5 teams. And I can tell you, Ferrari and Mercedes would give it a lockdown. McLaren will also be in the competition. I've seen a lot of people giving their verdict that it is Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren. Let's see. But I can tell you, like I said, the Mercedes is not here to joke this season. Mercedes are looking for a way to give Lewis Hamilton and a championship, and a reason not to have considered them before moving to Ferrari. I can tell you that Ferrari is coming to show that Lewis Hamilton, you are joining us and you are joining a good team, because we are going to give you a good car. So these teams are not playing, and I'm sure they are looking at Red Bull and are like, you think you are ahead, you think you got it, well, let's see who got it. And Red Bull is also thinking like, yeah, you guys think you can copy me, I have changed the whole concept, let's see what you got, because I'm still ahead. In all this testing, I can tell you Ferrari is down on power unit. For about 2 years, Mercedes had been down on power unit, which means Mercedes have not been using their power unit to the optimum. Last year, we saw McLaren, when they came up with a very good car, they tuned up the power unit to get the maximum out of it, and it paid off. Williams did the same thing. Mercedes did not do that. They didn't turn up their power because they know they are low on downforce, so they are trying to manage their power unit. That's why they had a lot of reliability consistency for the past 2 seasons. The only time they tuned their engine up was in 2022, in which George Russell had a blown up engine. Last year, we can see some of their engine consumers having either shaft, engine or transmission issues, which is due to reliability, but Mercedes never had. But I believe if they've gotten what they said they wanted to get on this car, they might have to tune it up, and that will be bangers. And I believe with all the tests we are seeing today, with all the races I can see them running, Mercedes have a lot to show. Ferrari have a lot to show. Through this testing, they have tuned down their power and they are getting good chunk out of it. Red Bull is also having that. McLaren, we've seen their true car, and I believe McLaren too will come out and show that yes, we are not just here to be a part of the bunch up. Likewise, Aston Martin, we can see every other team trying different things. Aside from the red flag in the first part of the morning testing, the afternoon went well, with drivers doing a lot of long runs, a lot of different simulations, and the day closed up with the Ferrari, the Mercedes, and the Red Bull topping the time sheet. But what do you feel? There's still lots of sandbagging. For me, there are lots of sandbagging. Nobody wants to show the true potential, but the only place you cannot hide the true potential of your car is in real race. But with tire management, ours is still suffering with tire management. The Mercedes, they have good decent pace. Even without having good proper setup in which they know what to set up, they're having a good pace. The Red Bull, so balanced, perfect, a very good car. The Ferrari, no more degradation, hallelujah, we can see competition. Aston Martin, they've kept their balance and they look very strong. The Stake team, the kickstake team, look very strong. McLaren looks very strong. Williams are taking different shots, looking at what they can bring to the table, because they are thinking of disrupting, and they will be the biggest disruptor this season. And I can tell you, it's going to be bananas, bangers from the first race to the last race. This is the right competition, because the move of Lewis Hamilton at the beginning of the season, shaking the paddock, is going to make a lot of drivers come out showing their best to show that they deserve seats in which might be empty by the end of the season, because like 2 or 3 seats will be going because of drivers shake up. So let's see what happens in Bahrain. But here I can tell you, after this testing, it still shows the Ferrari, the Mercedes, the Red Bull and the McLaren are on top, and it's going to be a big head lock-on game for them to get the best out of them. Watch out for our videos on other analysis on what we've learned in this testing. We love you. We keep giving you the best.